They lose their voice and all that because the Most High is not going to be with them. But the elect, the Most High is going to be with. The elect is going to be protected. The elect is going to be guided in that way through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You understand? Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall be cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So even though it's going to be a hard time, our joy is gonna basically, like, it's gonna overpower that, man. We're gonna be so happy that that's happening, man. That because we understand what's happening. We know the end result. These people are in darkness. These people don't know the end result, man. They don't know what's happening. They just think, oh, I'm gonna die, this, that, this, and that. Right? Because they don't have the faith of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or the understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? You know, so that's it. The elect is going to have that understanding. The elect is going to be good. The elect is going to be protected. But the 2/3, the Most High, matter of fact, not only are they going to be out there and without a hedge, the Most High is actually going to send the angels to go deal with them, man. Go put them to death in whichever way, man. Because guess what? There's not going to be 1/2/3 that's going to make it into the kingdom. Not one person that's not of the elect is going to make it into the kingdom. All right? So it's either you're of the elect, right? You're of the elect or you're of the 2/3. There's the only two options you got. You don't have any other options, man. All right? This is Ezekiel 9 verse 4. It says, and the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And that's what we're doing, man. We're sighing and we're crying for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof, man. Okay? While these people live it up, all right? Live their best life, all right? And to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Okay? So he told the angel to go forth and to the rest of the people and put them to death. Smite means to put to death, to kill. All right? And don't show pity. Don't feel sorry for them. Just put them to death. All right? That's what the angels are going to do. All right? Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. And the angels don't have emotions like that, man. They don't show emotions like that. All right, when they go to do something, they go and do so. They're pleased to do the will of the Heavenly Father, man. All right, like in that time, in the time of King David, where the Most High was going to punish King David, right? He gave him a choice, right? And he picked it to have certain amounts of Israelites put to death based upon those three choices, right? And the angel was over the city swinging that sword, and the Most High had to pull him back, man. He didn't feel no emotion. He wasn't thinking, oh, that's all poor baby. He didn't care about that. First of all, the angels have a higher understanding of these people, man. They know that they're really just spirits in a body anyway. Okay? So they're not going to have emotions when they do that. And those are the Most High spiritual hitmen, okay? So you people playing games with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're going to find out one way or another, man. The Heavenly Father doesn't play those games, man. This is, let me continue. This is verse 5. It says, and to the others he said, in mine hearing, go ye after him through the midst of the city, and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Okay, so at the end of the day, man, the Most High is gonna, once he sends them out, there's nothing that these people can do. Okay, but the elect, the ones who are sighing and crying, the ones that have that mark, which is a mark of exemption. It's not the same mark that's in Revelations 13. It's a totally different mark. It's a totally 100% different mark. Okay? The mark that's in Revelations is a physical mark. That's the microchip. That's a physical mark. Okay? But the one that's in Ezekiel, the 9th chapter, that's a spiritual mark that the elect is going to have. You see? The Most High is not going to implant his, he's not going to give you a physical mark. He's going to give you a spiritual mark. But Esau, on the other hand, is not spiritual. He's carnal. So he's going to give you that carnal mark. It's very simple, man. You can't expect Esau to be spiritual. Esau was not a spiritual person. Esau was never spiritual, man. That profane person is Esau, who sold his birthright for a morsel of bread. Doesn't the scripture say that? So how can he be spiritual, man? Being spiritual is really a righteous thing, man. Right? So an Edomite can't be spiritual. They're not a spiritual people. We're a spiritual people. The Israelites are spiritual, man. That's why even when you watch that movie, what do you call it? It's one of those shows that they had, some AD. They said basically, oh yeah, we won't. They didn't want to do a certain thing. They wanted to be careful how they dealt with the Israelites, because if they were to do certain things, the Israelites would take it as a sign. Okay? Why? Because we're spiritual, man. But Esau is the complete opposite, man. If Esau is spiritual, then guess what? Esau's he's cool with the Most High, man. But he's not spiritual, man. All right. He's dealing with the left-hand side, which is really, it's carnality, really. Okay. That's low-level shit. You know. Even when he deals with that so-called spiritualism on the left-hand side, he's still carnal, you know. Malachi 1 verse, let's start at verse 1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Right? So that the Most High hates Esau. You know, it's not that the Most High just hates Esau himself. The Most High hates all the... Why did he lay his heritage waste? Because he hates all the Edomites. All right? Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord power of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever, man. Okay? That's it. So that shows you that the Most High is never going to deal with Esau as a son or as a spiritual person. Okay? He's carnal. First of all, in order to be carnal, what that says what you have enmity with the Most High. Esau is an enemy of the Heavenly Father, man. The top enemy. That's why when you read Isaiah 63, it speaks about who's he coming to see first. He's coming to see the Edomites. Is he coming to see the Edomites to throw a party with them, to chill with them, to have dinner, to speak about, discuss their rulership? He's coming to destroy them. He's coming to kill them, to put them to death, man. All right? That's it. The elect he's going to deliver. Why? Because he loves the elect. The elect are spiritual. But Esau's the exact opposite of that. Okay? His whole rulership is carnal, man. When a seed doesn't grow fast enough, right? And Esau wants to make it grow faster, what does he do? He splices the genes, and we're gonna mix it with a rat gene so it can live through the winter, and because he's carnal, man. If he was spiritual, guess what he would do? He would do what Gad was doing. Gad planted for six years, and left for the 7th year to let the land rest, and then came back, and then they got even double or more than double what it would have normally gave off, because that was the promise that the Most High left to us. It takes a spiritual man to do that, spiritual person to do that. Okay? But Esau's not going to do that, man. You're not going to find Esau keeping the land Sabbath, man. You're not going to find that. All right? The biggest way to prove that we're spiritual, Esau's carnal, is the story of Jacob and Esau, man. That's the easiest way to prove that we're spiritual and Esau's carnal, man. This is Genesis 27. No, 27. This is Genesis 25 and verse 29. It said, and Jacob saw pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, block it. Right, he said to sell him his birthright. Which your birthright's when you get the blessing and all that, right? That's the part of the birthright is getting that blessing, that top blessing, right? Like when what was that? Ephraim and Manasseh were born, right? Jacob was supposed to give Manasseh that blessing that he gave to Esau based upon his birthright. Okay, the fact that he was the firstborn. The firstborn was supposed to get the top blessing. So Esau said, let's see what Esau says, what Jacob says, okay, you want some of this food? Give me your blessing. Which shows you that what? Jacob is spiritual. He's like, oh, listen, give me that blessing, I'll give you the food. I'll give you all the food. All right? If you give me that blessing, I'll give you all the food. I'll go hungry for today. Give me that blessing. That's something a spiritual man would say. All right? Let's see what Esau says. Esau, Salakia, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. So he sold his birthright, man. Right? It's saying that, oh, I feel like I'm about to die, right? I'm so hungry I'm about to die, which obviously he can go and eat anything else, right? He just wanted that at that time. Okay? You understand? And the birthright was worth dying for, man. Because that birthright, that would have been for your whole generation, man. Okay? But what did Esau do? He said, nah, forget that. Here, I'll sell you my birthright. Just give me that food. Which shows you how carnal and how profane Esau is, man. That's why the scripture said what? It said, if there's any man as profane as Esau, who sold his birthright for a morsel of meat, man. Now when the Edomites are in captivity, guess what? They have Esau to thank for that, man. You know? Because guess what? If not, he would have obtained that blessing. He would have obtained it. But he couldn't obtain it. Why? Because he wasn't spiritual. He was carnal. So he said, "No, to hell with the birthright." Even the heathen, even Moab or Elam would have said, "No, I'll keep the birthright." But Esau's such a profane person, such a low-level person, that he said, "No, I'm going to sell my birthright." Man. Okay. But that person is who's running the earth and who's controlling the narrative of what morality is on the planet Earth right now. That scumbag, man. These Edomites, man. Okay? The lowest level people on the planet are controlling that, man. You understand that? Do you see why the earth is in the condition it's in, man? Because that same guy controls your food, your water quality, you know, air quality, everything, man. The education of your children. That's detrimental. That's not no joke, man. That's not no light thing. That's not light. that these people control that. Okay? These profane people control such things. Okay? And that's why Jake was better off. Every study that you do, any study that you look at, you'll find that Jake was better off during segregation than they are now. This is the worst time that Jake was in, period, has ever been in, man. There, you see, and that's what Dr. Claude Anderson was saying. Jake was looking for social justice, man. Social equality, which means nothing. It doesn't mean anything, man. First of all, it's fake in the first goddamn place. You have people being PC, so-called politically correct. So they're not even telling you how they actually feel. You're suppressing them from saying how they actually feel, which is bullshit. What is that going to do for you? You understand? This is what Jake was switched the fight from something that actually meant something, that was economical. Okay, getting at their resources and substance to something that was social, man. Which was and Esau made Jake do that. Esau, he set up Martin Luther King and these different people, especially Martin Luther King, man. Someone like him set him up to push the fight for social justice, man, or social equality, or whatever the fuck they call it, man. Instead of the fight for silver equality, man. You understand? Which you Jake's lost, man, because now you have Esau controlling everything. He controls what goes in your neighborhood. He controls what stores go in your neighborhood. He controls how your kids learn the education. Okay? He controls the food quality, which all affects you negatively, man. What you eat is important, man. How your kids learn is important, man. But your enemy is teaching you that, man. So how the fuck is that gonna work? Why you think Jake is in that condition, man? You go back to Black Wall Street, man. Jake was doing good, man. You go back to Black Wall Street in where is that? Oklahoma, man. Jake was doing good. Jake had their own businesses. They had their own thing. They were thriving, man. To the point those Edomites around the way, as Esau always done, they got jealous. They started hating. They said they have to find a reason to destroy it, man. So one little Edomite woman, one little white woman, right, came along and said something, right? Or they told her to say something, whatever the case was. The devil probably said something. And they burned down the whole goddamn city, man. You understand? They didn't try and get the person who did it. They burnt down the whole city. Killed kids, women, all that. All right? That's the nature of the Edomites, man. And they'll justify themselves with it. They'll do that, and they'll try to tell you, oh, well, that happened because of this. So you're telling me you're going to destroy a whole city or community of people for one person? But that's the mindset of Esau Edom, man. But you guys can't see that this man is the devil. This man is a problem, man. Okay? When we tell you, we're going too far. No. We're bringing you the facts. We're showing you the facts, man. Okay? It's in Esau's nature to be so. And you Jakes, really, you've become just like the Edomites, man. You haven't become much different, man. You know? Everything you resolve now is violence. When it comes to your brother, not when it comes to the Edomites, not when it comes to Esau. Esau can do whatever, man. The heathen can do whatever. But when it comes to Jake, another Jake, that's what Jake wants to react based upon carnality, man. That was developed in you, man. But guess what? That's also part of the curses, man. That's also in Deuteronomy 28, man. All right? You Jakes are in a low state, man. Following after these devils, man, that brought you in a low state. Let's get John 8:44. John 8. This is John 8:44. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie. So Esau is saying, listen, Salakia, not Esau. Yahweh Shai is saying that you Jakes are just like Esau. Okay? You're just like the Romans. He was speaking of the Edomites, all right? Which is specifically then was the Romans. Okay? You're just like the Romans. You're just like your father, the devil. Okay? It says, he was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it, man. All right, so that's showing you that Esau, that Jake is followed after Esau back then. He was acting like Edomites back then. All right, but now you have the more Jake is around Esau, the more Jake will be acting like Esau, man. For example, you could go back to the 90s, man. You can't find an Israelite. You really couldn't find an Israelite that didn't believe in God, didn't believe in the Most High in some shape or form, bro. But now being under the rulership of the Edomites for this amount of time, now Jake is starting to switch over. He's starting to, there's a bunch of Jakes that call themselves atheists now, man. All right? Why? Because what? They're following after their father, the devil. You see? Which basically just means they're following after the Edomites, man. Which is detrimental, man. That's detrimental. You're following after a person whose whole existence is of that of destruction, that of wickedness. You're gonna follow after that? Nah, man. That's why we tell you to turn back to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to change your ways so that what? Life, you can breathe life, right? Because the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai is life. The ways of the world, the ways of Esau, the wicked is really death, man. It seems good, but at the end thereof is death. All right. You have to remember, this is that same spirit of the serpent that was in the garden, man. Which is really a man. All right, that came with the characteristics of a serpent. But that's that same devil, man. These Edomites are they're that same devil. Okay. They're coming with the same trickery. Let me get that, man. Let me get that real quick. This is Revelations 20. Start at verse 1. It says, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. That's speaking about when these Edomites were while we were in rulership for 1,000 years in Europe, these Edomites were at a low state. They were known as the serfs. Okay, they were in a low state at that time. When the Moors and the Saxons, which are so-called black people, when we were ruling, which was our ancestors, those Edomites were in a low state for 1,000 years, man, up until the Renaissance period. That's when they came back into power. That's why it's called Renaissance, man, because it was the rebirth of the Roman, the true Romans coming back into power. Okay, as they would like to think, right? And it says, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. Let me read that again. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. Okay? So this is the little season that Esau is loose right now. Right? Going back to what? The 1400s? Up until now, that was the little season that he was loose. Okay? That he was able to go out and deceive the nations. Because that's his purpose. His purpose is not to teach righteousness, to teach people how to live in harmony and all that. His whole point of existing It's to bring wickedness. It's to bring havoc upon the earth, man. Okay? And it says, matter of fact, let me get Revelation 6. Okay? This is Revelation 6. In verse 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red. That's speaking about the Edomites, right? They represent the color red, all right? When you look at their face, they're red. When they get cold, they're red. When they get hot, they're red, all right? They're not white. There's no such thing as white people, okay? That doesn't exist, all right? And it says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. And that's what Esau did, man. That's why the earth is in a complete chaotic state right now. There was always war. There was pockets of war every now and then, man. There wasn't no fucking consistent war for fucking 50 years, man. All right? Or 100, you know? Been at war consistently for since you've been in rulership. That's not, people were not ruling like that. There was pockets of times when people would go to war. You know, for good reasons, man. You know? Well, sometimes for good reasons. You see? But they weren't just trying to steal everybody's natural resource, everybody that has something. They wasn't trying to steal from everybody, man. That's what Esau's doing. Anytime they see a nation that has something that they could make a profit off of, they say, you know what? We're gonna build up some propaganda, okay, to say, oh, they're this, they're that, they're terrorists, they're blah blah blah, they're oppressing their people, and we're gonna move in militarily to steal what they have, man. That's Esau's MO. That's why there's been consistent war since Esau's been in power, man. All right? But that's what he was created to do. He was created to take peace from the earth. That's what you have to understand, man. He wasn't created to bring, oh, no justice, no peace. Esau, so-called white man ain't about justice, man. All right? That's the last thing he's about, man. Okay? Esau's about wickedness. He's about being the devil. Okay, that's what he was created to do, man. Okay? And it says, let me start that up again. At verse 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that goes back to what? The time of Jacob and Esau, man. When the blessing of the sword was given to Esau. And that's how Esau rules the planet. He rules the planet based upon the sword. Okay? Everything he gets, everything he does is on the sword. There's nothing that's, oh, let's just do this. Let's just sign a treaty and this. Esau has breaking every treaty whenever it benefited him. Every single treaty, man. With the Native Americans, he broke every single treaty. Not one did he keep, man. You understand? So this is the way he is. All right? Let me get Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, man. Get Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. You have a question?
No.
No? Yeah, no problem. No problem. This is Habakkuk 2. You ever heard of the Israelites before? The Hebrew Israelites?
Yeah.
You've heard of them before, right? All right, that's good. That's good. And where are you from, may I ask? What's your background?
I don't really know.
You don't really know? What would you say, to the best of your knowledge, is your father's background? To the best of your knowledge.
Middle Eastern.
Middle Eastern. Okay, so you'd be more like Arabic type of thing. Okay. Come from Ishmael. This is Habakkuk 2. At least you're not an Edomite. Say, you thank the Heavenly Father you're not an Edomite. That's the worst thing you could possibly be, is an Edomite.
Why?
Because the Edomites have no promise of mercy from the Heavenly Father. Okay, that's the nation that was created to be the wicked.
Yeah.
All right. So if your father is Middle Eastern, right, or like you said, then that means that you would be considered an Ishmaelite, which is not an Edomite. That's good. It's not an Israelite, which is the blessed people, but it is a people that eventually you'll be okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is Habakkuk 2, and I'll start at verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man." The wine represents the philosophies. Okay? is speaking about the Edomites. This is what I'm reading right now, is speaking about Esau. This is his characteristics. All right?
Yeah.
And I want you to tell me who you think, if you look at all these races on the earth, who do you think this fits, in your opinion? All right? Understand this? Right? In your opinion. I'm going to read it for you. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Right? He doesn't stay at his house. He doesn't stay in his region.
No, he drinks.
No, listen. When it says wine, it's not speaking about actual alcohol. It's actually speaking about philosophies. Okay? I'm breaking it down to you. All right? He is a proud man, which means he's arrogant, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Which means that he doesn't stay where he is. Okay? I'm just going to tell you who it is. The Edomites are the so-called white people, the so-called Caucasians, okay? They came from where they were, they came here, right? And they took the land from who? The Native Americans, did they
That's
not?
right.
And the Latinos and
The
the rest of them.
Europeans.
Right. And everywhere they go, they steal from those people
Because
there.
they feel they have the right.
That's it.
It's all greed.
Right.
They're
But,
poison.
what? You're saying it. Oh, let me read it
They're
again.
poison.
Right. What you just said is good. What you just said is good. I'm gonna say you just said what I just said. Hold on,
Yeah.
look. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine his philosophies, he is a proud man, arrogant, right? They feel they're entitled, like you said, right?
Yeah.
Neither keepeth
God
at
bless
home,
you.
who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. That's the key.
Yeah.
Cannot be
He
satisfied.
doesn't have the grace.
That's it. He can't say I have enough. Okay, this is enough. I've taken enough.
Yeah.
He's not gonna say that.
No.
If Iran has something, he's gonna say, oh, I'm gonna get that one way or
Yeah.
another.
Yeah.
You understand? If
Yeah.
Syria has something, I'm gonna get that one way or
Business.
another.
It's greed.
It's greed.
It's greed.
And it's not.
And it's wiping out the planet.
Absolutely. I was just saying that
That's
before.
why we have climate change, you know.
Ah, you see who the problem is. Let me
It's
show
the
you.
rich man.
Let me show
The
you.
rich
But
white man.
that's what it is.
Doesn't give a shit
That's it.
about anything.
But you have to understand that's within them. They can't do. Really, they can't help it. They can't really help it because that's what they were created to do.
Great.
Everyone has their
That's why
purpose
the-
on earth.
That's why
You understand?
the racists were brought up like that.
Oh, well, hey,
Sure.
but you know they could be racist. That's okay. You understand? But
Yeah.
the whole point is this: their time of them ruling the world in wickedness and destroying the planet and the forests and the water and all that, that's coming to an end. You can't look. They can't look for too much longer. People are seeing. You can't say, "Oh, well, look what we've done. We've brought this and that." No. What you've brought is death and destruction.
You know
Okay?
what, in South
And put your
America-
name on certain
in
things.
South America, the white man's burning down the jungles to build
Yep.
hotels. And
Amazon, remember that?
the shamans
Yep.
are healers.
Yep.
And they have those trees that are magic for
Right.
them. They have the
That's
bark.
right.
That's
They use
medicine.
nature, they use
It's
nature.
medicine.
Right. Of course. And that's the best medicine. This pharmaceutical
Yeah.
company is just really a hoax. If people were to use natural herbs and really learned it, they would be a lot better off health-wise.
And happier.
A lot happier. It messes with your mood.
Yeah.
Right? But let me
And
read this for
happier.
you real quick, all right? Because we spoke about the earth, right? This is Revelations 11 and 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and the saints, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're responsible for that. You know why? Because first of all, they're the ones that set up all the things that destroy the earth, whether it's the petrol companies and all that, they're putting the chemicals in the water. They do that. I watch so much documentaries on that, right? Of how they just push that in the
Me too.
water, right? So the thing is this: they have, since they're in rulership, right? They're going to be responsible when the Lord comes back, because the Lord's going to come back to deliver the elect of the Israelites, which are on the Son. All right, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the Israelites. Uh-huh. Absolutely. But you see, the thing they don't understand is this: that the truth is always going to win at the end. Always. It's been a long time coming though, but it's always going to win at the end.
Yeah, you know that song by Sam Cooke?
Ah, right.
Change is going to come.
A change is going to come, but it's not going to be the change that they want. It's not going to be the change that they like.
These people will be left behind.
They are.
Because they're in 30, in 3D.
Right,
which
right,
is the
right. Well, that's
Matrix,
good. Well, that's good. I'm
which
glad. I'm
is-
glad you know that.
and
I'm glad you know that.
We're ascending.
That well, you
You
see,
have to ascend.
you see what's gonna ascend is the elect of the Heavenly Father, the
Grace.
chosen, right?
Yeah.
You see when grace is gonna come, when the earth is gonna be at peace, is when the elect is in power. Okay, which the elect have you ever
Is that
read
King
the Bible?
James?
Yes, that's right. That's the King James, which is the accurate translation of the compared to the Hebrew. 'Cause we read the Hebrew, we read the Greek,
Yeah.
we go through all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, but this is what's gonna happen when the righteous are in rulership. It says, this is Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Right?
Yeah.
But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And we can clearly see the people all around the world are mourning.
Yeah.
Clearly. All right? Even all these people you see now, they might have smiles on their face, but really, guess what? They got work to they're in a constant rat race.
Yeah.
If you really look at their blood
It's a
pressure,
hamster
it's probably going to be
wheel.
high on the majority of these people.
Hamster
Absolutely,
wheel.
absolutely. And they set it up that way. They set it up that way. You understand that the rich get richer and the poor get poor because they're a people of oppression. They're not a people of right. But when the righteous are in rulership, which is the elect, that's when everyone's going to be able to breathe. That's when the earth, the trees, the scripture says that the trees are going to rejoice, man, when we're in power because we are the ones who are supposed to be ruling from the beginning.
Right.
But this, all that we're seeing here right now is just a movie. You understand? Right now we're at the bottom.
I know.
Right now we're at the bottom, right? Because guess what? If you go to any, I'm sure even in your family, right? If you say, oh, or if a daughter or something in your family at some point, oh, I'm gonna bring, I'm just giving you an example, right? A black man home or whatever. Oh no, you can't bring a black man home. Why? Because we're looked down upon. The Israelites are looked down upon in
Yeah.
this society, right? The hidden ones. You understand?
Yeah.
And when we complain about certain, oh, you got to stop complaining, pull yourself up by
Yeah.
the bootstrap. But the oppression that's been put on us has been
Yeah.
more than any other people on the
Yeah,
planet.
that's
You
right.
understand?
Oh,
but
white-
I'm showing
white
you
too.
that eventually, though, they're gonna see the truth, and eventually, that's when we're in power. That's when everything is gonna go back to
I've
normal.
always said to the white people, Jesus is not white.
Absolutely
He
not.
was.
Absolutely
He
not.
was a dark man.
He absolutely was.
He is from Ethiopia.
That's the exact
He's
scripture.
from Ethiopia.
No, he's not from Ethiopia.
Well,
he's from
he
Israel.
could.
No, he's not.
He
He's
could
not.
be.
No, he couldn't be because the scriptures, the Bible tells us where he's from. He says he's from Israel. Okay, he's from Israel.
But
It's
he
just-
could look.
he looks like he could
Yeah.
look. He looks like
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
an
he
Ethiopian,
looks like an
but he's not an Ethiopian.
Yeah, he's black.
He's exactly
He's black.
absolutely
I'll tell
absolutely
you,
is.
Because at that time, there's no white people in the Middle East. There's no white people in the Middle East. Don't tell me. When you go to these churches and you see
Well,
Jesus with blue eyes.
They're,
No.
I'm going to tell you something. Right? Sorry. I'll tell you something. White people, they were in the Middle East, okay? Because they're Edomites. Edom is in the Middle East. They were there in the Middle East. You understand? Even when you read about certain Egyptians, right? Certain Egyptian pharaohs, that's why you see them paint them as white sometimes. Cleopatra, for example, she was from the Ptolemaic dynasty,
Yeah.
which was Greeks, but they lived in Egypt. You understand what I'm saying to you? They lived in Egypt. They lived there.
Swarthy. It's not.
So, oh, the swarthy. You know that word.
Swarthy.
That's swarthy. But you know who said? You know what? You know who mentioned the she wasn't swarthy though. She was a I believe she looked just like an Edomite. She was a pale Edomite, just like these people.
Yeah.
Okay. But the thing is this: